Guess they want in. I heard ya. I heard you ringing the bell. What's that? Oh, okay. I didn't see anything in here. There's nothing in here.
Can I check?
No, nobody can come in here. I'm sorry. It's not my house. Yeah, it's not my house either. But they let me come in here, so I can't. I wish I could let you come in, but I can't. Okay?
What is this?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta get back to work. I gotta look at everything here because I got somebody showing up shortly. Okay? Okay. Nothing in here. I'll check upstairs though. Watch your fingers. Okay. Well, they thought this place was empty, so they've been knocking and ringing the bell because they lost some toys. And the previous owners must have taken the toys with them because they're not here. But if they keep ringing the bell, I think I'm gonna go crazy. So this window in the bedroom has actually been pushed in really hard. The frame is not set on it. So I used this window to get out on the roof, but it was stuck at first, so I had to pop it up. You can tell it doesn't sit level anymore. This side sits a little higher than that side. It's a little bit out of level, that's for sure. That's nice. Looks like some pretty fresh paint. Pretty fresh. Like they just painted over everything. Wow. Look at that. Nice nail outline. Good prep work, boys. Didn't even remove the bottle cap before you started painting. Look at that. Classy work, gentlemen. You guys tell me what's wrong with this door just by looking at it? Any ideas? How about one, it's not the right size. Look at the door in the other apartment. The seam goes right down the middle. These doors are too big for this opening. They won't seal right. See that? That's all gap. Because it's supposed to seal on the other door, and when they're not the right size, there's no way it's ever going to seal. Isn't that crazy? Man, just when you thought you seen it all. Oh shit. Oh, nice. That one sucked. Anyway, there's been a lot of love here. A lot of little nicks in the tiles and the floors. Popcorn ceilings. So certain years before like 1978, sometimes the popcorn ceiling could have asbestos in it, so you have to get this abated or removed professionally unless you're crazy enough to put on a mask and do it yourself, which I don't recommend. But you can do it. A lot of the outlets in the house are just shot. You can see it's a little bit broken, loose, painted like crazy. The place just wasn't taken care of very well. Brand new thermostat, 2021 air conditioner up on the roof. Got your main filter here. You've got a secondary filter downstairs on the first level. So on the staircase here, there's not too much going on. Pretty simple staircase, but we'd like to see these come back to the wall so you don't catch your coat sleeve on this and go diving down the stairs. Checking everything on here, making sure it's even. A little bit of squeaky going on, but nothing crazy. This tile up but the top of the stairs is actually a little bit hollow. You can see it tips over the edge a little bit farther than the other tiles, and some of that grout is loose. So we're really particular on safety on stairs. We want every tread to be identical. So when you start throwing in little things like this that are a little bit different, you're going to start catching your feet on it. So I'd recommend that this get reset, re-grouted at the very least, and possibly brought up and redone this whole thing just to make it nice and flat so you don't catch your foot on this and trip. So we took a look at that bathroom. Good Lord. This is the bedroom with the window that goes out. That's the window that goes out to the side, which this one, you see the doors? Yeah, crazy. This is just the back side of the shower. So this is what the shower looks like on the inside. Just your typical valve shower. They've got an access point right back here on the staircases. Of all places, perfect spot for it, right? But this is where your hot and your cold go in and mix, and your valve mixes each one of them and goes up to your shower head or goes down to your tub. Pretty simple. But if you need to make repairs, it's easy to get to. This house has been loved. Tough love. I've had the kids running around downtown or downstairs here trying to get access in here. A little bit of water staining around the windows, probably about 15 layers of paint on everything. First thing I do in a bathroom is walk up to the tub or the toilet. That one's super loose. It's super loose on the bottom. You can see the grout lines cracked right there. Walk around, trying to find any hollow tiles if there are tiles. This age of a home. We're looking at 1970 build, 1960s build. So a little bit older floor. It's not going to be perfectly even. Some of these tiles could be loose. As long as they're not cracked, we're not going to make a big deal about it. So dripping faucet here. Drips a little bit, but at least the stopper's working, not like upstairs. Didn't have any leaks. Angle stops down here. A little bit of corrosion on them. Not getting too bad though. Again with the vent fan and the HVAC covers, like, it works, but you're never going to want to close that off because it's a vent. So you're missing the screen door on your main door out here. This is your first floor patio. Nothing crazy going on, but the rollers on this door are shot. You can just see how rough that is. That's so wore down. There isn't hardly anything left on that track. So yeah, you're probably looking at replacing these sliding doors sooner than later. Not just for efficiency, but for function. It's really hard to close these doors, but they still lock, latch, which is the big thing. Another broken outlet, another loose outlet. This one's got plastic pushed into it. Another loose outlet. And another loose outlet. Another broken and loose outlet, just broken. Electrical panel here. It's ridiculous. Take a look at the inside of it here. There's just a bunch of crickets and cricket poop all over the inside of the panel. Nothing is labeled. There's sheetrock mud spray all over the interior of it. This panel needs to be replaced, in my opinion, for safety. Any of this debris in here could catch fire if anything sparks in that electrical panel. Causes major problems. Costs you a lot of money and possibly your life. It's a big deal. We do have a smoke detector that was replaced last year. The one upstairs is 10 years old. You got to replace that one. So let's take a look at the kitchen. That's one noisy fridge. Yeah, that fan is... Ugh. You can hear that on the other side of the apartment. I want to throw that thing away. Let's just take a look under the sink here while we get this running. Right there. Another water leak on OSB. Glorious. Your doorbell converter inverter is back there on that panel. That's exposing high voltage wires, not just low voltage, but yeah, this is leaking like a sieve. I'm gonna swap that out. Hey, I like the trim board though. Did good on that. The drain pipe isn't even close to straight. Oof. Yikes. I guess it's a cabinet. That's gonna be for nothing because they took the garbage disposal out. So the oven works inside and on top. Outlets still painted over. Look at all that paint. So when you paint these outlets, you can't always plug everything in 100% of the way, so it stays a little bit loose. So the idea is get rid of it because there's too much paint on this thing for this to make a really good connection. Look at that, it's not even GFI protected. Right next to his sink. That needs to be GFI protected, that needs to be GFI protected. Because of the age of the house, it wasn't required when they built it, but it is definitely something that needs to get done. So the cabinets, they look like they're secure, except started looking around some of these screws they were using. Pretty much none of those should be used for cabinets. So where did they screw them in at? Oh yeah, right back there. Standard sheetrock screw. Looks like painted over. No shoulder on it. Not a whole lot of weight on these cabinets, but it is something that you should have done. So before I leave the kitchen sink here, just wanted to note we've got a saddle valve back there. It's just a valve that you set over the top of a copper pipe, screw on really tight, and then it puts a little pinhole inside of it so you can get some water out. It's typically ran over to either dishwasher or the fridge. So that's a potential leak point back here. A little bit of corrosion on that. Angle stops, not bad though. Another thing you want to look at is down here. All that stuff back in there. It's in a really wet area under the sink here. And that ain't smoke. Just saying. Great to know how many years of crap and paint built up on this. Oh look, a square-headed screw. And a Phillips screw. A couple more Phillips. A couple more Phillips. These cabinets just look rough. I hate it when they paint over all this hinge. Take these off, strip all the paint off, and then put them back on. It looks so much better. It actually looks like you took your time and did a good job done. Yep. I mean, you do it this way, or you flip it around this, so you don't see most of the bracket, and you still get whatever. Ain't my house. Yeah, even if you wanted to take these out, you're not getting those out, unless you want to pry them right out of the cabinet. staircase handrail like this that doesn't connect back to the wall is a bit of a safety issue, because if a kid or somebody walks along here with a coat or a hood or a sleeve and that catches on this, it's going to whip that person around. They're going to go tumbling and falling. So that's why it's important to a home inspector to call these out to get them connected back to the wall for safety. Oh, looks like that sink was actually leaking underneath the vanity over to the toilet too. Quite a bit of problems over here. And using the infrared, we can usually find all the blue areas. Gonna be our wet areas back here. You can see where the water traveled between the toilet and the vanity. All the water that leaked into the vanity is now going back into that corner and down. So that's how a little problem turns into a big problem. Water leaks. Somebody missed some insulation. Little hot spot right there. It's all squared off, a couple degrees warmer. So that's the unit that we're working on today, that top unit on the left behind that air conditioner. That's where we jumped out of the window. Sewer cleanouts over here on this side of the property. Multi-unit home usually only has one unless it's a bigger unit. Checking the perimeter of the property, even though it's just that unit up there, I still need to look around the whole unit, or all the units on this building, make sure there's no issues. Wait a minute. Brand new washer, dryer, refrigerator, and oven. Brand new? In. I don't know. Looking too new to me. Nope. The fridge, heard that a minute ago. Yeah, fans. There's no way that's new. There's no washer and dryers here. There's no washer and dryer hookups. Let's go try and find them. Okay. Bathroom, no hookups. Closet, no hookups. Bedroom, no hookups. Another bedroom, closet. No hookups. New washer and dryer. Look at that. It's a pretty small unit here. That's it. That's all you get. That's the whole unit. I don't see a washer and dryer. What the? Huh. I'm not making it up. Your home has a brand new washer, dryer, refrigerator, and oven. Man, I think I gotta become a listing agent. I don't know. The bedroom here, you see some of that discoloration up there, right? Put the thermal camera up there, it shows a hot spot. 82 degrees, 78, 79 degrees, just a foot away from it. It's kind of this line right there, that's a hot spot.